Happy Halloween, everyone! So, today I'm going to talk about refeeding syndrome. Sorry that the video is a couple of days late. I was awaiting some information via email before I actually started to do this video. Refeeding syndrome is pretty serious. The shifting of electrolytes and fluid balance increases cardiac workload and heart rate, which can lead to acute heart failure with people who start to eat a lot after they've been restricting a lot. So basically, anyone who's been restricting below 1,000 calories, you're at risk for refeeding syndrome. If you're going to start increasing your calories, you want to be monitored by a doctor and increase by 200 calories every few days until 2,000 calories is reached, and then you'll find to just jump straight to 3,000 or 2,500 or 3,500, whatever your calorie guidelines are. Milk is the kind of refeeding food of choice because it's high in phosphate and it's easily tolerated by those who've been starved. But obviously some people are quite intolerant to dairy products when they start to actually eat properly again. So that's not always going to work for everyone. But I just want to stress that it is a very, very serious thing and you will know if you're experiencing it. But if you have been restricting to under 1,000 calories, it is a good idea to be monitored by a doctor. In fact, I would stress that you definitely need to be monitored by a doctor. Those who are at moderate risk are if you have one of the following, which is a BMI less than 18, weight loss greater than 10% within the previous 3 to 6 months, or very little intake for more than 5 days. If you have 2 or more of those, you are at high risk for refeeding syndrome. You're also at high risk if your BMI is less than 16, your weight loss is greater than 15% in the previous 3 to 6 months, or you have very little nutritional intake for more than 10 days. Or you have low levels of potassium, phosphate, or magnesium prior to feeding. Those who are at severely high risk are people with a BMI less than 14 and have had negligible intake for greater than 15 days. Now, the symptoms for refeeding syndrome, the general symptoms are kind of dizziness, fatigue, nausea with or without vomiting, trembling, fever, clamminess, and the swelling in the hands and the feet. Symptoms that can come with refeeding syndrome but don't always come with refeeding syndrome is constipation, dark urine, decreased urine output, dry mouth and foul breath, dry skin, lack of perspiration, muscle weakness, and stiff or aching joints. Now, very serious symptoms are becoming delusional, having confusion, becoming delirious, being lethargic, or having hallucinations, having poor skin elasticity, or a rapid heart rate, or sunken eyes. You are going to know if you're experiencing it. As I said, it is very serious, so you are going to be feeling awful, really, really awful. Obviously, if you think you are experiencing refeeding syndrome, you need to dial 911 or 999 or whichever one is your emergency number, because there is a risk of death. So, if you think you are experiencing it, get to the hospital immediately because the consequences can be very serious. So, most people don't experience it, obviously. I actually started, I didn't know that refeeding syndrome was even like a risk, and I was eating below 1,000 calories when I was restricting, and I had no idea about refeeding syndrome. Obviously, I was totally fine. None of that happened to me at all. and it is very rare, but it is very serious, so you have to be on the lookout for it. And I do highly recommend that you be monitored by a doctor for the first few weeks of your recovery whilst you're upping your intake from whatever it is to 3,000 or your minimum calorie guidelines. So do be monitored. I really cannot stress that enough, because it's not worth not being. I mean, I know it's hard going to a doctor and talking about your problems, but it's far better than, getting heart failure. So you definitely just want to bite the bullet, go to the doctors, get them to monitor you, and after those few weeks, then you can do it by yourself. Like when you've hit, your 2,000, you can then jump to 3,000 and do it by yourself. You don't need to be monitored after that. But do that. And I also hope that everybody is going to have a great Halloween. I am going to a party dressed as a bunny, tuxedo bunny thing that I got from Ann Summers. But I realise that that's quite stereotypical sexy girl Halloween outfit. So my friend suggested, because she's going as a hipster deer. Now, that was her own very creative idea, which I think is going to be pretty cool actually, because she's thought about being roadkill. So she's going to be this hipster deer roadkill, and I'm going to be this bunny roadkill. So I'll have blood on me, but I am one of those girls who likes to dress up in a sexy outfit for Halloween, because it, as Mean Girl said, it's one day of the year that girls can dress up in as little clothing as they want, and no other girl can say anything about it, and that's totally true. I do enjoy a bit of sexy dressing up. So I hope everybody else is going to have a great Halloween today, and that they have lots of plans for later. I'm excited. I hope you are. Have a good Halloween, and be aware of refeeding syndrome.